so you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick the critic when she all up in your city. Oh, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it and if she get with it. Let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it. Cause she's Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it. Cause she's Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic, Rick the critic.
I'm Rick the Critic, and guess what? Today we got a great show. We're going to talk about insider stuff. We're going to talk about sneaky ways that supermarkets get us to buy things, and we're going to talk about dog remedies, natural remedies for dogs if they have sleep motion sickness and that kind of stuff. But wait a minute. Before we go into that, a couple of things. I was moving around town, and I'm thinking, I was in Long Beach today and met some wonderful people over at New Dimensions Beauty Salon. Just, I mean, when I go into the salons, generally what happens is you go in, you see your stylist, you do what you're going to do, and you just kind of keep it moving. You don't say much, you just go on. This was one of the few places that I've been in where everybody that came through the door was like, "Good morning, how are you? Hello, how are you? Good morning, hi everybody." I mean, it was just energy just bursting in the place. I mean, it was just energy, and it was just great to be in a place where people were just talking and laughing and just having a great time. So I just wanted to say that, I mean, it was one, if you live in Long Beach and you're thinking about, I mean, you might want to go in. I mean, just the energy is great. Even if you're not going to get your hair done, you can go in there and sit down and talk, and it's always conversation going on about the world views and all those kind of things. But it's a great place. So Steve is a stylist in there, and there's another lady in there. Her name is Jean, just a sweetheart, just a sweet baby doll. And then the lady, the owner of the place, I think her name was Barbara, and just a nice place. So if you looking for a place, you're in Long Beach and you just want to go and just sit down and set your feet up under the table and just have great conversation and laugh. It's just one of the few places that I've been in a long time where people were just good morning, that kind of thing. So that's high energy. Anyway, second thing, I'm coming in Pasadena. I'm doing a round town thing. No bashing today, but I'm told that, and I went over to Glendale. They've got a jazzercise class there, and you guys may not notice it, but I'm doing some jazzercise now. I mean, great little workout. The guy's name is Ted, and he's at the Y over there. And then there's someone at the Girls and Boys Club on Del Mar. I'm not a big fan of the Girls and Boys Club, and we know that. But the jazzercise ladies there, I haven't been over there to see her, so I really don't know what the situation is. But if you're in jazzercise or whatever, they tell me that she's very structured and it's very good. Have not been there. But the guy, Ted, over here in Glendale, he's very personable. I mean, the guy, I mean, you can feel the workout. Actually, what I got the feeling of when I walked in was like, it was like the old Jane Fonda workout. It was that. And somebody said to me that Jane Fonda has a workout for women over 50 or 50 and up. I don't know that, but if she does, I'm sure it's a great workout. Anyway, the little workout, I mean, it's the shoulder rolling and all the stuff that she does and the little walk thing, and I mean, you really bust out in a sweat. So if you've got an old Jane Fonda workout tape, you pull that baby out and put it in and do some sweating to that, and I'm telling you, you're going to see a difference in how your clothes fit, and it's just fantastic. So, I mean, Jane Fonda, kudos to you, because I just love Jane Fonda. But anyway, listen, today I want to talk about some home remedies for dogs and cats, just natural type cures. Some of them are natural, some of them we can buy in the store, but the bottom line, the puppies get motion sickness, and it's summertime, and you guys are going to be traveling with your puppies in the car, and they're going to be leaning their heads out the window and getting some air and all that, and sometimes they get motion sickness. What they say, and bottom line, is that for motion sickness, Benadryl. And it says that you should, it says the biggest challenge is getting the dosage inside of the dog, and that it should go by body weight. It says 1 milligram of Benadryl per pound of body weight. So if your dog has motion sickness, then you might want to think about the Benadryl. And to get dogs and cats to take medications, you could put soft cheese, bread, or peanut butter on the pill itself and then administer it to them. And they'll, the cheese or the peanut butter, it tastes good to them. And so if you put it around the pill and add a liquid medicine, if you add liquid medicine to canned pet food or other foods that your pet may enjoy, that's another way you can get them to take on the medications that they need. Ear infections. This is interesting. It says for ear infections, you fill its ear, you fill the dog's ear with mineral oil. You put mineral oil in there, and it says you massage the area with the mineral oil, and then you fill the ear with warm water, and then kind of push it over, and I guess whatever's in there will come out. Isn't that interesting? So that's all. That's for the dogs. That's car sickness, and like I said, that's when they're on the road, and a lot of times they get their little ears get infected, and like I said, they get motion sickness. So summertime, you got your dogs in the car. Remember to keep the windows down, and don't leave the puppies and the cats. Don't leave them in the car with the windows up. It's too hot, and it could be really dangerous. Now, let's move on to the sneaky ways that companies get us to buy their stuff. Now, the way the economy is faltering and the way things are going, companies have to figure out, creative ways to get us to buy. It's not enough that the for us as women, dresses and all these other things that we just like, but they've got to figure out some ways to get us to buy. So 35% of brands are now taking drastic measures to get us to buy. And one of the ways they're getting us to buy is nostalgia. So they're taking Doritos and Mountain Dew and Pepsi, or packaging their things to look like, for us baby boomers, the things that made us feel all soft and warm. When they want to bring us back to a time where we had a lot of fun. And when you're talking about in the 60s, the 70s, and I guess for some the 50s, those were for what 50s, 60s, 70s. So 50s and 70s, those are the times when we were, things were good. So what they're trying to do is to get us to think about a happier time. So when we see these Doritos and these Mountain Dews and Pepsis or Coca-Colas and this packaging, when we reach out to get these items, we're thinking of a happier time. And so when we think of a happier time, we feel good all over. And instead of buying one can of Coke or one, bag of Doritos, we might buy a lot because we're feeling fun. And that's sneaky. It's sneaky, but it's the way it is. So the what to do, it says when you find yourself reaching for an item because you feel good all over, stop and think to yourself, do I really need this product? Do I really need this? Is this an impulse buy? Am I feeling real good about what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing, and I'm just buying it because I'm feeling this way, or do I really need it? Just ask yourself that. And when you ask yourself that question, is it an impulse buy, or is it just, what I'm saying? Or do I really need 2 or 3 packages of Doritos? Or do I really need 1 package of Doritos? Once you figure that out, when you ask yourself that question, you will make conscious decisions. You will make better decisions. That's just one of the ways. The second thing is, this is really cute. If you're standing in front of those HD televisions and those, and you want to buy a car, you're looking at a luxury car, or those high-end items, salesmen, instead of saying purchase to you, now what they say is investment. So when you're looking at those gorgeous diamond rings, in platinum, or you're looking at that high-end Rolls Royce or that Bentley, or you're looking at that super big television, what is the HD or whatever, when you're looking at those things, what the salespeople are trained to do now is say, this is not just a purchase, this is an investment. So guess what? When you hear the word investment, what to do? When you hear the word investment, just substitute that word for purchase. And when you substitute that word for purchase, then you'll know you're not making an investment, you're making a purchase. And that's the bottom line, okay? Second thing, oh boy, this is great. I mean, I was so excited about it. When you walk into the store, they cleverly have put things to the right side because people normally when they come in they're right, they're right-handed, so they look at all of these things on the right, and the things that are on the right are the things that they want you to buy. So when you walk into the store, when you enter the store, in the entrance, when you see all of these things on the right hand side, just swoop to the left, go across the store, and when you finish buying and you're coming out the door, you can see those things, to the right as you're on your way out. If it's something that you really, 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 really gotta have, then guess what? You can always, as you're going out the store, it's a conscious decision. Like, I got to go back into the store, get back into the line to purchase this. So if you take the time or you really have to go through all those channels to do it, then it must be something that you really, really need. But again, what to do is when you come in, don't look to the right, just head to the left, go straight across, do all your shopping. And when you come back out and you see those things, like I said, if it's really, really needed, then you'll get back in line and get it. So it's now, second thing that they're doing, supermarkets are laying down speed bumps. Those are, when you're pushing your cart and you hit the little bump, what that's designed to do is to stop you. And that's what it does. When you're pushing your cart and you hit a bump, you stop. And when you stop, you start looking to the side, just like, oh, what is that? Or what is that? Or hadn't seen this before. And you start to look. That is a clever way for them to get you to stop and look at the product. So when you see those, when you're driving or pushing your cart, not driving, but when you're pushing your cart, when you hit those speed bumps, just be very conscious that those bumps are there and designed for you to look to left and right to see what it is that they're trying to entice you to buy. Again, if it's something that you really, really need, then yes, then, buy it. But ask yourself, do I really, 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 really need this? Just be aware that it's a reminder and it's geared up for you to buy. So if you don't need it, don't buy it. Okay, most supermarkets, music, great. Music is getting slower now. What they have found out, what psychiatrists have found out, is that if the music is slower and the beat of the background of the music, shoppers shop longer. So if you come into a store and the music is slower and the beat is slower, what it says is that people just stop and they just are not conscious of it and they just start buying. We got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back. Get your popcorn, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do, and come on back. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Jonesy Kitty, Jonesy Kitty, Jonesy Cat. She is my kitty.
She is my Squiddy. She is my Jonesy. She is my Jonesy cat. She is my cat.
Things can get pretty ugly when you're bored. In an after-school program, you can find something way better to do.
Hi, we're back. Listen, if you missed it when you left, we're talking about sneaky ways that stores get you to buy things. Okay, and when we left off, music. When you go into a store and the music is slow, it's designed for you to stay in the store longer. And if you stay in the store longer, you're going to spend more money. Isn't that sneaky? Unbelievable. So what they're saying is the best way to handle that is when you go in a store, wear earphones. When on the earphones have fast-paced music on there, and that fast-paced music is going to make you go in, you're in and you're out, in and out, in and out, okay? No, when you hear that slow music, just be aware. Even if you don't have headphones and you happen to end up in the store and the music is slow, what you do is just start thinking in your mind something fast, just Michael Jackson, dun 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 dun, and keep that music, that beat in your head as you're moving through the store. where you can hurry up and get out of there. Because if the music is slow, that means you're going to stay in there longer and you're going to spend more money. And let's face it, what we want to do is save money where we can live like no other, to do what we want to do. So we just want to be conscious of our spending. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can buy that will really mean something, and we want to just pay all our bills down, be debt free, to be able to spend freely what we want to do. So be conscious of that. When you hear it, just in your mind, put that Michael Jackson beat, dun 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 dun, really really fast beat, and just hurry up and get out of there. Okay, and then fresh stuff. This was amazing to me. The different things that they do to make you think that you're buying fresh produce or fresh flowers. They put these fresh flowers and they put the produce there, or they put the fish on ice, and we're supposed to feel like, you know, it's fresh because it's on ice. And here it says that most typical supermarkets, most apples that we buy in the supermarket have been cut off the tree 14 months. So they've been off a tree like 14 months before they even get in the supermarket. So when we see those nice shiny apples, we just associate it with freshness. Just like cut flowers and fruits, they're just placed right by the door. So when we come in the door, we see these fresh flowers, we see this fresh fruit. So we just assume that it's just fresh. We equate cut flowers, we equate that to freshness. Isn't that something? I mean, all these little bitty things that we don't think anything of, but now we're a bit wiser. We don't think anything of them, and so we go in and we start to purchase. Produce prices are displayed on what appears to be chalkboards. This is really cute. When they write the prices on the chalkboard, our minds say that the produce or the meat is fresh because they have to use a chalkboard to keep up with it. So that in our mind it's like, oh, you know, this stuff is coming in so consistently, it's coming in so fast that they have to have a chalkboard to keep writing the prices of it on there because it's fresh. Is that not, I mean, really, I think that when I go in the market and I see, you know, fish, or if I see salmon, you know, $2 a pound or $3 a pound, and then I come in, you know, a couple of days later and then it's trout and then it's something else, or tuna or something of that nature, and the price is different, I just assume that stuff is coming in fresh on a daily basis and they are marking it on the chalkboard because it's coming in fresh. What a clever idea. So they're displayed in what appears to be the chalkboard, and that's the prices. It gives us the impression that new produce oh gosh, that's seafood, same way. It's displayed on crushed ice, even though modern refrigeration cases don't need to put ice in there for the fish to stay. The ice is to give us the illusion that it's fresh. You know, it's on a bed of ice, a bed of crushed ice. It's fresh. We just got it out the water, and when we got it out the water, we took the hook out of his mouth and we threw it on this ice. And because we threw it on this ice, that means that's freshness. I mean, all of those things, don't they make you think of it? I know when I go out to 22nd Street Landing out in San Pedro, and they have all this fish and shrimp and lobster and crab and all these oysters and octopus and all of these different things, squid, everything is all on the floor and it's on ice and it's in these crates. I just equate it to fresh. In my mind, it's like, wow, this is really fresh. The boat just came in, it dumped all of this stuff, you know, in this warehouse, and everything was just separated and put into these crates with ice and stuff, and I'm getting fresh fish. And who knows, I could be getting fish that's, gosh, who knows what? I don't know how many days old. Okay, so if freshness is something that we value, what is suggested is that we do the farmer's market. If we want fresh produce, the farmer's market. We have a farmer's market in Altadena now, over in what is that, Loma Alta Park, and it's there every Wednesday. We have a farmer's market right across the street from Jackie Robinson on Fair Oaks. We have another farmers market on Villa. So we had, and then we have one in South Pasadena on, I think that's El Centro. So we've got some farmers markets around. So if freshness is what if we're looking for fresh produce, if we're looking for freshness, then it's suggested that we go to the farmers markets and get our fresh produce. That's amazing. Even places like Whole Foods. And I'm not bashing Whole Foods because I love Whole Foods. I mean, I especially love it on Wednesdays because when you go on Wednesdays, I mean, the food per pound, the prepared food per pound, instead of $7.99 a pound, it's $5.99 a pound. And the sample thing is just really awesome in Whole Foods. I mean, the one thing that you know when you go into Whole Foods, I mean, you can sample anything in there. Everything is available. I mean, from the pizza to the bread. I mean, anything you want to sample. When you go to the deli, they've got that wonderful cranberry tuna, and it's like you can taste that. You can taste everything that's in the case. You can taste it. The pricing, some of it is a little pricey, and I love the fruit is just awesome. I mean, they've got the best apples in the world, the cherries, and everything is out there for you to taste. And I mean, if it's not good, you don't have to purchase it. So I like that about Whole Foods, but Whole Foods is not as fresh as the farmers market. The farmers market is fresher. And if we're looking for freshness, if we don't have a problem, if we don't really care about freshness and we're okay with Whole Foods, because I am okay with some of Whole Foods things. I am okay with some of their things there, even though it's been just told to me about the apples for 14 months and stuff. It's like, even with that, I still like, as far as supermarkets go, I think Whole Foods. I like Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has got just great stuff. And even though, and then you can catch them some days where their sample thing is, the people are there, the vendors are there with their samples, but by far Whole Foods has everyone because, I mean, they're really good. And if you go online with Whole Foods, I mean, you can get some great deals online. The only thing that you got to be really careful with Whole Foods, you find those great bargains online, and when you go inside, the employees they're not privy to it, and sometimes they're not so knowledgeable about them, and because they're not that knowledgeable, you end up going back and forth, and then you got to call the manager, But the good thing about Whole Foods is that you can come in and you can bring your receipt back and say, hey, listen, you overcharged me for this, last week, and they're very good. Their return policy, I mean, they're really, really good about that. So, and Trader Joe's, you know what, I don't have a big ruffle with Trader Joe's. The only thing that I really kind of get with Trader Joe's, with Whole Foods, if you come in and there's an issue, they make it right. Trader Joe's, if they do something, and I used to come from, go to the one in South Pasadena because I like that one. And I would go to that one in South Pasadena, and I love watermelon in the summertime. I love the fruits in the summertime, the grapes and things. And the thing that I disliked about them was that if you got some produce that wasn't any good, the one in Hastings is pretty good too, but if you get some produce from them that's not any good, you could bring it back, but they don't make it right. They don't really care that you've driven X amount of miles to return this. You burnt gas, you spent gas to come to Trader Joe's to purchase it. Now you have to bring it back to them, and they don't really make it right. In my mind, as the customer, what I would say is, oh, listen, here's another watermelon, and listen, can I get you a beverage, or can I get you, here's the store coupon, here's, a couple dollars off when you come back, or they don't make it right. Whole Foods, they make it right. I mean, when you go in there and there's a situation, the manager is great. And I'm talking about the one on Arroyo. I'm not very familiar with the one in Hastings because I always go to the one on Arroyo because it's larger, the facility's larger, and the people are friendly. Now, there's one in Glendale that I've gone to. It's smaller. The people are nice, but they don't have, the selection is just very small. They don't have what Arroyo has. Arroyo is like the big one, and I like that one better. So if you're going to go to Whole Foods, the one on Arroyo is the best one to go to because the people there are nice, the food, I mean, they just have a larger selection of things. So, I mean, that's Whole Foods. But again, like I said, Trader Joe's, I like Trader Joe's. There's certain things that I like. I like their pralines, their pecan pralines. I like those. There's a couple other things that I like out of there, but you know, what I would buy from Trader Joe's is what Whole Foods didn't have, or if I couldn't get to the farmer's market. Again, I say Trader Joe's thing is just that they don't make it right. They just don't make it right when you come back. I mean, you like I said, you buy it, you purchase it, you take it home, it doesn't work, and they're like, oh, just bring it back. Well, gas is like $5 a gallon. I mean, really? So you go home, you find out that the product is not what you wanted, and then you go and then you have to drive back. You burn another $5 worth of gas to bring the product back, and all you get is the product. I mean, no customer appreciation, nothing like, well, gosh, you came back, and I mean, they just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? That's my beef with Trader Joe's. They just, they do some community services. I know that they do donate food because I've seen their food in different places. So I do know that they do that, and it is food that is soon to expire, so you kind of got to work with it quickly. But again, I just think that their customer service should be kicked up a notch, and I think that when you come to their store as frequently as I do, and I hit all different ones. I hit them in LA, I hit them in Hollywood. I mean, because I like different things at Trader Joe's. I just think that their customer service, the people are great. I mean, they got on their little Hawaiian shirts and they're just real nice, but the service, their return policy, it sucks. So anyway, when you go back into a Trader Joe's and you go in there, just tell them Rick the Critic said that they should do better customer service. Listen, I have enjoyed you today, and even though we don't have anyone on the suck wall, I had a wonderful time with you allowing me to come into your living room. And gosh, I hope to see you next week. And listen, we're going to bring the suck wall back, and we're going to talk about some other things that are happening right around town in Pasadena. I am so happy to see you again. Listen, be careful. Take care of yourself. Watch your children. I'm Rick the Critic, and see you next week.
Rick the Critic, when she come into your place, so you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's Rick the Critic. When she all up in your city, oh, you best not forget it. Let you know if she like it, and if she get with it. Let the whole world know and be the first to admit it. Let you know if it's good and if she dig it, cause she's Rick the Critic. Rick the Critic, Rick the Critic, Rick the Critic. She the first to admit it if she can't dig it, cause she's Rick the Critic. Rick the Critic, 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 Rick the Critic. Rick the Critic, when she come into your place, so you best not forget it. She gon' tell you how it is, cause she's